Good evening, Rask enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright, because it's time for the predictions video. Earlier today, we got the May 8, 2025 Rustor, and basically in this video, I'm going to look at all these skins and try and consider, out of all of them, which potentially is the best investment for this week. Which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious look of profit. So sit back, relax. I'm going to start yapping. Okay, so, first look. I'm fully well aware a lot of you aren't very happy with this Rustor. Not that many skins, no cloven armor. What gives? Well, what if I were to tell you there's probably a good answer as to what's going on? A good answer as to why we got this Rustor? Well, sit back, I'll explain. Alright, so first of all, last week we had the jungle update. Lots of people very hyped up for it. And, well, we got 14 skins in just a normal Rustor. Again, for a big update. It's not a holiday Rustor is the main point I'm trying to get across. Not Easter, not Halloween, not Christmas. So, a big fat Rustor here, and next week maybe they're trying to even it out. Okay, alright, we'll accept that answer. What about the lack of cloven armor? Even though tons of very interesting skins for cloven armor was submitted somewhat recently. Well, I think I have an answer for that. So we go over to here to my Twitter. I am under the impression we very likely could be seeing a complete the sets fairly soon. As in, well, either next week or potentially the week after. Right, so 2 years ago, we had an official complete the sets on May 18, 2023. And we saw whiteout boots, military hoodie and pants, Arctic Sky Hour. You can see all the skins there. You get the point. If you don't fully understand what Complete the Sets Rustor is, well, I have to quickly explain. Every single week, Ruskin creators are producing very nice Ruskins all the time, and they're always appearing on the Rust Workshop. However, not every single skin gets accepted. So, Face Punch, they realise, well, there's a lot of interesting collections they have, but not every single skin gets accepted. So they do a special Rustor like Complete the Sets, in which they put an effort to complete sets. It's in the name. So as you can see here, whiteout boots quite literally help complete the whiteout collection. It also sold absolutely ridiculously. Hoodie and pants here for military collection. That was the final core piece. So we already had tier 3, tier 2. We just needed that. There you go. They accepted that. But that was on the workshop for over a year. That was on the workshop for 6 months. That was on the workshop for just over a month. The idea is you're going to probably see some very interesting collection skins that have been on the workshop for maybe up to a few years. Case in point with last year, this was not official. No announcement was made, and yet it still happened. Now, this actually happened 4 weeks into May, and basically, there was no announcement, but this certainly was no coincidence. We saw the return, the resurgence, of the Neon Storage collection, with that fuel storage being accepted. And of course, if you can remember, what followed was a lot more small boxes, then lockers, and of course garage doors. So, okay, things like that could potentially happen. That was on the workshop for 11 months. Training jacket, 8 months, and then Toxic Armor Double Door, 3 years and 3 months. So, point I'm trying to get across is, it's lining up again, and perhaps the sheer lack of skins being accepted in the Rustor, the lack of clothing and armor, maybe Face Punch are just kind of warming up, in which next week we get a Complete the Sets Rustor. Another thing to also point out is every single skin here was jungle themed, alright? Next week we might have 0 jungle themed skins. It is a big cope. It is fantasy. But it's also lining up and it kind of makes sense. So if you agree with that, feel free to comment below, but that's at least a positive to look forward to. Let's now move on and talk about these skins and consider what potentially is the best investment for this week. And I think if you're going to sit there and ask me, hey Hedge, out of all these skins, which one's most likely to do the best job in terms of retaining its value, it would be the Tropico SAP. A very strange bird-themed SAP skin. Giggle at that, produced by Mr. VHS. I wonder what new bird-themed weapon skins he could produce if he makes a collection. But the main point is, take a look at all the semi-automatic pistol skins, and what do you see? They're all basically doing pretty good, but they don't go up in price that much. Up 18%, up 12%, up 12%, up 25%, up 32%, up 14%. Yeah, that one's down in price. It wasn't very good to look at. It wasn't very pretty. Like, Factory New was nice and shiny. Deep Ruby was all strange purple and crystally. This right here, bird. But if you're going to sit there and ask me, Hedge, what do you reckon will happen to that Tropico SAP? It will most likely go up by about 10 to 20%. Yeah. Is that a bad thing? Yeah. But smart buy order. Oh, you could pick that up for a cheaper price and then potentially sell it for some profit. So yeah, over the course of the next few months, it very likely might just retain value and slightly go up into the positive. Okay, that's not exactly a bad thing then, is it? Nope. So moving on. Out of all the remaining skins, I think I want to talk about Jungle Tomb Sleeping Bag. Now, a lot of people have made a fuss about this, and it is currently a top-selling skin so far. That's a green sleeping bag. Yes, you could put that in the grass. You can also put it in the jungle. So this is a point where I'm going to sit here and tell you, please consider watching my roster rotation video right now. Look in the description, look at the chapters. You will see that I compared that sleeping bag with other green sleeping bags. That is selling for $2. That, I don't think will go up in price that much, because there are other options. And if we could just quickly look at all these other sleeping bags. Now, I'm not here to talk about like the $20 forest camo bag. I'm not here to talk about the $40 jungle camo bag. I'm here to talk about the other skins that are like fairly close in price. Snakebite sleeping bag, $2.58. Scroll. You've got Pixel sleeping bag, $2.32. Fish bag, 10 cents cheaper at $1.89. Point made? Well, in my roster rotation video, right, the skin I'm mainly focused in comparing with is the Free Folk bag. This is currently on the Steam market at $2, and this has been around since 2017. This does not have that much quantity in circulation, and yet pretty much the exact same price. If you were to wonder what would be a nice green sleeping bag that very likely wouldn't go up or down in price that much, that'll do a very good job simply just retaining its price, well, that'd be the option. So back over to here, this has competition, but in terms of what it is, it's actually, like, honestly, that's a great sleeper bag if you want to hide like a bag in the grass in the fields, perhaps in the forests, and of course in the foliage of the jungle. It does a fantastic job. And again, look at my roster rotation video to get a good look at that yourself. But in terms of how much is it going to sell, as of now, if I was to give you a very rough estimate, I expect at least 20,000 subscribers. I think there might be quite a few people buying a little bit too many of these in excess with the pure intent to sell. Now, I'm certainly not expecting anything like this, where last week we saw absolutely ridiculous sales all over. All of that was excessive. But that did 54,000 subscribers. But no. This is probably only going to do about 20,000 plus. Not too ridiculous, but still potentially maybe just a little bit too many. All right? There very likely might be an instance in which that sleeping bag will dip down in price a fair bit for a while. So, okay, well, if it's not likely to go up in price that much, but not exactly going to go down too badly, it very likely will just probably stick around the same price that it sells for. So, okay. Maybe not as reliable as the Tropico SAP, but still intriguing and interesting. Like, honestly, the only thing I could see that causing it to really go up in price if people actively like try and buy it out. But I could see that eventually happening. It doesn't reflect that much. It really is a great bag to consider. Again, if you want to put it in like the field, if you go put it in the jungle. So yeah, roster rotation video. Give it a good look. Looking at the remaining skins, I think I now want to talk about the Croco double barrel shotgun. So first of all, quick look. Out of all the double barrel shotgun skins we've seen somewhat recently, they are not doing very good. But out of all the recent skins, only two here in the positive. Blackout double barrel shotgun, part of the Blackout collection. That's always in demand. All right, we'll just kind of push that aside. But then we have Bamboo Blaster. Now, this is also a green double barrel shotgun, but it doesn't sell that much every day, and this didn't actually sell that much when it was in the Rust store. That only did about 4,500 subscribers. We are not going to see this sell that little. But all the other double barrel shotguns, as you could see, and ones that are from notable collections, such as Dragon Rage double barrel shotgun. Dragon Rage is fairly in demand, down 38%. Thunder Gold collection, that's in demand, down 20%. I'm a little bit conflicted. But for the design of this, and again, consider watching my roster rotation video to get a very good look at it. I think a lot of people would appreciate that. A nice dark green double barrel shotgun to use when they hide in the bush, in the jungle, waiting for prey to walk by. That's a very cool looking skin. I could see it doing pretty well in terms of retaining most of its value, but I am still a little bit worried. Okay? Pair that up with like a Reptile Hunter collection. Ooh, now you're cooking. So yeah, I could see it working out quite nicely. Again, the only thing we could compare that's also a dark green double barrel shotgun is the Bamboo one. But I think people would prefer that a little bit more. Much better design. Sorry to say, but it's more unique, more interesting with the creative approach. So, okay, cool. It also is abnormal, right? We could approach that on Wednesday night going to Thursday morning next week and race to put some barders down. Now, if you don't fully know what abnormal skins are, well, if I could just quickly hop over to here, and if I could just quickly point out my most recent video is my Ruskin Abnormal Barders video, which is right here for May 8, 2025. Consider watching the first 5 minutes of this video, scroll down, skip ahead to the Barders chapter that you can see there, And in short, you'll basically learn that abnormal skins, they become marketable at an earlier set time before the roster even rotates. We know exactly when it is. We'll figure out prices beforehand, race to put barders down, and afterwards we'll look at all the barders these skins have, look and see how many barders there are, how high the price goes. We can then judge whether a skin is likely going to actually retain its value or not. We'll feel more confident if we actually want to just straight up buy these skins for the rust door. So, sleeping bag, double barrel shotgun, both of those are abnormal. Okay, so maybe it's smarter to do the barders first, then make the approach. Next skin I want to talk about is the Heatseeker AK-47. A very strange looking AK, but very unique. Purple, yellow, and Mr. Vase. Very talented artist, so that tiger really pops out. The Heatseeker design in reference to the Predator heat vision. Okay, cool. But the aim sight's really strange. I don't want to diss it. Again, I don't even fully know if it's like detrimental, but he's got like holes in the aim sight. And to get a much better look at this, please consider watching my rust rotation video and also look at the chapter in which I take this to the desert. Because with its yellow aim sight, someone said, "Oh, I've seen this in the desert, it doesn't look very good." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm curious." I went in there. Yeah, you can see like the top part of the aim sight kind of like disappear, which isn't very helpful. It's when like the sun's on a certain side, it makes it a little bit like dull, and you just do not see it very well. But again, just use a hollow sight, and it's easy, but perfectly fine, no issue then. We get quite a lot of AKs every single year, and last year we got a record-breaking amount. I think we got like 45. Let's just go see for ourselves. And with that, with so many AKs being accepted, it's harder for them to stand out. They become less special. Look at all these skins; they are struggling. But we do have two that are currently doing quite all right. Black Diamond with its nice sleek black, ever so nice diamond encrusted design, and then we have Thunder Gold with its pure pearlescent white and gold trim. These are appreciated, these hold up their value quite nicely. But all these other ones, they just don't really stand out enough. And if I could just go up to here, out of all the skins so far this year, we have the Sakura AK-47, that's doing very nice. That's bright pink and it has anime girls on it. Alright? Alright? But it stands out, it's unique. Does this stand out? Is that unique? As of now, I could agree, but let's see how many more skins are going to be produced and let's see what works out from here. Earlier this year, we had the Deep Ruby AK-47. This sold for $3.49. It's not selling for $3.49 at the moment, but after seeing more and more skins being produced for this collection and being accepted, it's starting to improve, but this did drop down pretty hard. We thought that looked pretty, but evidently not everybody else did. So if you're a little bit hesitant, barders first, because that is abnormal as well, but it's $3. Is it going to retain all of its price? But, as I said, keep an eye on the workshop. Vase is making more. There's an MP5 right there. So we'll see what happens next, okay? With the remaining 4 skins, I do not have confidence in them. I literally talked about sheepman doors and garage doors previous week. You should be well aware, right now, we have 2 garage doors that are currently being in a way as a Twitch drop. That being the rusticated garage door and the Rusty Moose garage door. Last week we also happen to have 2 garage doors in the same rust door. Right now it appears they're both in the positive. Give it a week or so, there will be a lot more of them on the Steam market. The price will go down. We saw absolute ridiculous sales for both of these. 28,000 subscribers, 36,000 subscribers. I don't think this is going to hold up, even though it is a very nice looking design. Honestly, if that came out last week, that also would have sold a lot. It's looking very nice and very cool. But unfortunately, we have far too many garage doors. Last year, we got a record-breaking amount, and with the pace that we're currently going at, with 16 skins accepted so far as of May 2025, last year we got 34 in total. I wouldn't be surprised if we match up to that or probably surpass it this year. Twitch drops, skins and rust doors, you can see that we have most of them being in the negative. They're in the red. It's not looking good. I can't help but assume the same thing's going to happen here, and you can already see it. Bad. It's all down bad. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of faith. And with that at $3, this right here, it's a perfectly fine looking design. Again, consider watching my rust rotation video to see it for yourself. Doesn't glow. It's a nice homage to the rock, but that's going down in price. I'm so sorry. There are tons and tons and tons of sheepman doors. We keep seeing more being accepted. We also have a Twitch drop right now. That's not going to keep the interest. That's going to struggle to maintain its price. Yes, these 2 came out last week. Yes, currently they appear as if they are currently in the positive. But again, give it a week or so, more listings will appear, it will suffer, it will struggle, they'll go down. And look at all the sheep doors that came out last year. One is in the positive. All of that, a record-breaking amount of acceptances and introductions. We're probably not going to see as many this year, but I don't have any faith. Sorry to say. Lastly, we have these two weapons here. This Python looks cute. It's silly. When you shoot, it has like a little face in the back that goes like... But other than that, it's just a Python, and Python doesn't appear to be very in demand in terms of usage at the moment. You look at its skins, you'll see that for yourself. The only skins that are currently in the positive as of now are the ones with the transparent aim sight. Bombshell, Redemption, and Blackout. All the other ones, they're basically down to around and under $1. They're not holding up very well. Funny, goofy gimmick, but it's been made before. We quite literally had the Python that came out, like 3 years ago? That's basically sitting at $1 right now, and it's somewhere around here. Where are you? There you are, 96 cents. Sorry to say, so it's not looking like that's holding up. Then salvage swords, essentially the same thing. We've had a lot of salvage swords over the past few years. They're all down to about $1 and less. Yep, down 51%, down 59%, down 50%, down 51%, down 51%, point made, yep. We do have this one currently slightly in the positive. That came out during Easter 2025, next to no skins sold, and there's hardly any listings now. It doesn't really sell that much every single day. That's just a bit of an anomaly, so we won't really count that one. But all these other salvage swords, it's not holding up. Mainly probably due to the fact that the salvage sword just isn't being used enough. Point made? Cool. So yeah, that was fairly straightforward, this Rust store. What can we do from here and now then? Well, you might want to consider keeping an eye on the commits. Of course, if you want to be aware of new updates, new big fat updates that might be appearing on the horizon, keep an eye on the commits. But all the developers at Facepunch at the moment are focusing on working on their own special little projects. Flare gun from Mr. Pilgrim. Basically, they'll work on ideas that they have that they think might be a nice introduction to Rust, and I get the feeling that they'll probably put it in front of the team, and the team will consider if they actually want to, add these things to the game. If I can recall, chicken coops were made in a hack week. What happened? Well, it's in the game now, isn't it? There you go. We also have to have like a rotating platform you could deploy items on, and it rotates 180 degrees when powered. So maybe something like trophies and Rustajay eggs. All right, well, yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, hack week at the moment, but from here and now, maybe a lot more interesting things. We'll see what happens, but again, you've got to put the effort in to keep an eye on the commits. It'll be linked in the description. And if I could go back over to here, if I could just point out, I've got some videos that you might want to consider watching. Here's my tour of the Art of Rust server in March 2025. Give that a good watch. Nice, calm enjoyment of looking at art. If it'll be up to date with all the newer skins that have been submitted to the workshop, not a single early pick appeared this week in this Rust store. So all the collection continuations are chaptered right there if you want to get a good look at all of those. And if you're very curious about what green camouflage skins work best out of Tier 3, Tier 2, hoodie and pants, and even jackets, consider watching that video. And also consider watching this primitive skins video as well for clothing and armour. Everything is chaptered, so cool. Alright then. And in regards to this, consider looking at this collection link provided here. You will see that I have the Complete the Sets Candidates collection. This is not official. The actual official list is made between TDG and, well, the Facepunch devs. We can't see that, it's private. But I made this as a nice sort of showcase for the many interesting collections that, of course, are candidates for potential Complete the Sets Rust stores. So give this a good look, scroll down, and better yet, pick out the collections that you would like to see getting, continuations. What collections do you think should appear in the Complete the Sets Rust store for May 2025 if it were to happen? Alright, so you might sit there and give these a good look and say, well, okay, I'll pick the Forest Raiders large backpack. Hang on a second. You should consider actually clicking it, scroll down and see if there's a collection link provided, and actually look at the collection itself. Because you might notice there's actually a Forest Raiders jacket. We also have Forest Raiders AKs. The skins that are showcased here are actually like the representatives of the collection. So, yeah, give that a good look. Nice green AK. I think a lot of people would probably appreciate something like that. What do you reckon? So, yep, give it a good look. I know a lot of people are very much craving for some clothing and armour. Alright? So give this all a good look. There's plenty of interesting hoodie and pants. Sand Rhino. Oh, Thundergold. So, yeah. Have you seen the price of Desert Raiders at the moment? All the clothing and armour. I think it's almost $300 now. Well, Sand Rhino hoodie and pants. Perhaps that might be a nice consideration. Or, of course, if you go to the collection provided here, scroll down. Oh, look at that. There's also Tier 2. There's boots and gloves. Again, what do you reckon? And then you look at Thundergold. A very nice, cool white design. Never got the hoodie and pants, I'm afraid. So, would you like to consider that? Or, again, go to the collection link provided. Scroll down, and what do you see? Well, you might notice that there are some tools there as well. Perhaps we could see a hatchet and pickaxe. Alright, well, we'll wait and see. But yeah, out of all these collections, what would you like to see actually being accepted? Point made? Yeah, okay then. So, back over to here. I'll sit here and say thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. I hope it was nice, concise, and straight to the point, and I hope you do enjoy yourselves. Yes, today's roster was a bit but if we stay positive, maybe we'll actually see some nice things happen around the corner. Or be lit down again.